Scottsdale, Arizona. Very nice. All right, everybody. Good evening. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy day to join us on our call tonight. We're going to be talking about nutrigenomics, which is the study of how science and nutrition affect our genes. And tonight we're going to talk a little bit about a publicly traded company called LifeVantage and how their product line and this opportunity, right, might be of interest to you. The products, they might, you might be an athlete, you might be a trainer. Maybe you are a coach and you have players that would be interested in these products, or maybe you're like me and you're a parent of athletes. And tonight you're going to learn how you can best support their training and ultimately support their performance as well. My name is Angie Harper and I live in Brentwood, California, with my husband Garrett and our two teenage boys, Ryan and Nick. Between the two of them, I think we have all sports covered. Ryan plays football and he's a wrestler, and Nick plays baseball and basketball, and he'll start his freshman year of high school next year, and he will play football as well. I'm a former elementary school teacher, a little bit of my background, and I also was a small business owner. I ran a mobile gym for kids here in our town for about 10 years. And 4 years ago, I came across these products that you're going to hear about tonight that changed my health and this opportunity, which changed my family's life. In just 4 years, I've built an organization of over 5,000 people that does $200,000 a month in sales, simply by sharing my story and by teaching others to do the same. I went from a teacher to a business owner to a network marketer. And I have to tell you, it's the best decision I've ever made. Now, it definitely has not been easy, but it's definitely been worth it. Once I stopped trading time for money and I focused on helping people get healthy and helping them to build a business, my world changed forever. Our first speaker tonight is a guy that's close to my heart. He's actually downstairs. My wonderful husband, Garrett. Garrett graduated from Gonzaga University with a degree in kinesiology. And he's been a strength and conditioning coach, a gym owner, a competitive power lifter over the last 25 years. He's built an incredible gym in our garage, which he's actually sitting in right now. Garrett is an expert on powerlifting, on strength training, and on the supplement industry, which he often calls a scam. And I'm sure he's going to talk about that tonight. And he's going to provide us with some great information. This will be recorded for future viewing, but feel free to take notes, and hopefully you guys come away with something tonight. There's not going to be a slideshow. This is just a well-rounded discussion with some experts. So sit back and enjoy. Garrett?
Awesome. Thanks, Ange. Appreciate the nice introduction there. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I'm seeing people all over the world. I've seen Australia. I've seen Canada. I've seen all over the US. So excited to have a lot of new faces on here, and hopefully you guys have a good takeaway from this discussion. Angie has bravely let me talk about one of my passions in life, lifting heavy things. It's not for everybody, but it's definitely for me. Something I've been doing since I was 14 years old, and I've done it professionally. I've, as she mentioned, owned a gym. I worked as a head strength and conditioning coach for private facilities. I'm actually currently in software sales, so I know that doesn't really jive with everything else, but strength training remains a passion of mine, and I actually do it for myself, but also voluntarily. I've got a group of my son's friends. There's 10 high schoolers that come here 4 days a week, and they train in our garage. I'm responsible for all of their strength and conditioning and their programming and getting them ready for their sports for the upcoming season. And it's a ton of fun to work with teenagers. It's fun to work with anybody, but teenagers especially, because they're just so energetic, bouncing all over the place. Half my time is just spent getting them to focus and realize what they need to do. But one of the interesting things that happens with teenagers is there's really no focus in their mind on recovery. And as a coach and as a former athlete and competitive athlete myself, and now being, well, let's just say older than I was when I was competing, recovery has become the primary focus of my training. So all I used to do was just train. And when you're young, you can get away with that. As you get older, though, that your body's ability to regenerate, it takes a little bit of time. You lose some of that edge. So my focus now is on recovery. And I'm also trying to instill that into the athletes that I work with. So when we set up their training, they have an automatic, what I call a deload, which is just basically a break from intense training every 6 to 9 weeks. It's scheduled in there. And I'm trying to teach these kids that you can't just go hard all the time. You've got to give your body the ability to recover. And recovery is going to kind of be the focus of the first topic we're going to talk about here. And one of the first products that I'll mention as well, which greatly enhances recovery for everybody, not just athletes, but my experience with it has been really from an athletic standpoint, both in my recovery and in the athletes that I train. So when you're working out as an athlete or even a non-athlete, anybody that goes to the gym and you work out, that process, as we know, is highly beneficial to your long-term health. And one of the things that happens in your body as you're going through the workout process is you actually create these substances called free radicals. It's a natural response to exercise. And these free radicals actually elicit a lot of different metabolic responses in your body. And some of them are really good. You actually need some free radicals as you're working out, and they stimulate certain proteins and certain recovery mechanisms to happen in the body. But what happens to a lot of people is what's commonly referred to as overtraining. And I hate to say it, it's overtraining, because there's really no such thing as over retraining. There's only under recovering, okay? So what happens is when you work out really hard for a really long period of time, for months on end, this accumulation of these free radicals can build up in your body and just leads to a state of just complete lethargy, right? Some people get into almost a depressed state. You'll notice that you're not recovering, you're extremely sore, you're unmotivated, you may be getting sick frequently. Your body just is not producing enough antioxidants to overcome this free radical damage from the exercise. And so recovery and the ability to generate antioxidants, which combat these free radicals, is key to recovery. Now, your body can do this on its own. You have a metabolic pathway, the NRF2 pathway, which actually stimulates the production of antioxidants in your body. But the product I first want to address, which is NRF2, which is the flagship product from LifeVantage, is actually designed to enhance your body's ability to make its own antioxidants. It does this through a proprietary blend of herbs and supplements, and it actually stimulates this NRF2 pathway to produce vastly more of these free radical fighting antioxidants than the body could on its own. So you have the ability to train longer, to train harder, to recover faster, because your body's own antioxidant production is through the roof. And I see it in the kids that I train. I see it in myself. I mean, I'm able to train the same way I do at the age of 45 that I did at 25. I don't know a lot of people that can do that. So there's a huge benefit from the recovery aspect of the NRF2. A lot of you have probably heard of glutathione, which is one of the most, we'll just call it popular antioxidants, for lack of a better word. And NRF2 greatly boosts your body's ability to produce glutathione, so one of the most powerful antioxidants in the body. And it will help to eliminate these free radicals. It will help to enhance recovery, cut down on injury, and give you and your athletes or anybody that you're working with that extra edge. Secondary to recovery is the body's ability to harness and produce energy. So if you've ever studied exercise at any length or how the body produces energy, you're familiar with a compound called ATP. ATP is the body's primary source of energy. Our cells have these little tiny structures in them called mitochondria. And mitochondria are like the engines or the powerhouses of your cell. And mitochondria pump out ATP, they produce it, which the cells then break apart, which releases energy. And that's how our cells literally perform everything that they need to do, muscular contractions and all types of different metabolic processes. Again, when we're young, we got lots of healthy mitochondria. We have no trouble making ATP. As we get older, as we age, the body's ability to make ATP and thus make energy declines. And from an athletic standpoint, that's horrible. If you have low stores or the inability to make ATP efficiently, you're just not going to perform well in the field. You could be a weekend warrior, you could be a professional, you could be somewhere in between. If your body's not synthesizing ATP and using it properly, it's definitely going to hurt on the field of play. The second product that LifeVantage has, which is NRF1, is designed to help the body have healthier mitochondria, which in turn allows for greater ATP production, okay? NRF1, much like its partner NRF2, is a proprietary blend that helps the body with a process called mitochondria biogenesis. It helps to repair mitochondria. It helps to generate new mitochondria. It helps those mitochondria to generate more ATP and more energy. Obviously, the more energy you have, the harder you can train, the more endurance and stamina you're going to have, the better you're going to perform as an athlete. And it could just be even just, a fraction of a second difference can often be the difference between first and second place, or second and third place in an athletic endeavor. Having that extra boost, that extra edge, is often the difference between being a champion and coming in runner-up. The third thing I wanted to talk about today is really a product that synergizes with these other two. You may have heard of NAD. There's lots of athletes that get NAD infusions now. There's a lot of research going on around NAD, but you probably haven't heard about what NAD really does in the body, which is stimulate a group of proteins called sirtuins. As athletes or anybody involved in athletic endeavors, you're probably familiar with protein, right? Protein supplements, blah, 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 mostly generally overrated. However, we're talking about a specific group of proteins here found in the nucleus of your cells called sirtuins that regulate a tremendous amount of biological processes in the body. And when these sirtuins are activated, they can have a tremendous effect on what we've already talked about: antioxidant production, mitochondria rebuilding or regeneration, and ATP production. So NAD, which is kind of the third part of the trisynergizer series, from LifeVantage, is designed to augment these other processes and to stimulate these sirtuins and get them activated. And when you do this, it simply adds to the NRF2 and the NRF1, helps the body make more antioxidants to fight that oxidative stress, to help you recover faster, to get out of that overtrained state. It helps the mitochondria to rebuild themselves faster. It's also directly involved in the reprocessing of ATP in the cells, and it has a tremendous overall benefit to the athlete from the overall recovery and energy perspective. So these three products combined together are the core of what I take, a core of what my sons take to help their athletic performance. And the differences that we see in their training compared to when they're not taking it, their friends that aren't taking it, I mean, they're pretty significant. My oldest son last year was 150 pounds. This year he's 208 pounds. He's done that through consistent training, through really good eating habits, really good recovery habits, and having the amount of energy it takes to put on that kind of muscle mass and maintain a high level of performance. So it's really exciting to see what hard work and dedication and proper recovery and supplementation can do, especially when in an industry that's typically known for hype and marketing over real science. And that's one of the things that separates LifeVantage from everybody else out there. It's a publicly traded company, been around for 20 years, got 32 published studies on their products that we just talked about that anybody can look up. And these are, organizations that have studied these include Harvard, Ohio State. I think we saw an Ohio State Buckeye fan on here earlier. Northwestern, National Institutes of Health, some really prestigious organizations that have done third-party peer-reviewed studies to show the efficacy of these products. So if you're an athlete, if you're into any kind of athletic endeavor, regardless of what age you're at, if you're looking for that extra edge, the ability to help you recover, the ability to help you have more energy, I would strongly suggest doing some research and looking into these products yourself. And with Ange, thank you for the time, and I'll turn it back over to you. You're on mute. There you go.
Do you have a Tri-Synergy packet you can hold up and show everybody what it looks like?
I do. It's this fancy little packet right here of the NRF2, the NRF1, and the NAD.
So that's the Tri-Synergy, and that's $4 a day, guys. Less than a cup of coffee, you too can be activated. Thank you so much, Garrett, for sharing that with us. Our next special guest has been in clinical practice for 19 years. And he's been training healthcare providers all over the world since 1995. He's been a part of creating supplements and chiropractic tools, and is currently on the science advisory board for our company, LifeVantage. He lives in Arizona with his wife, Holly, and their 4 children. Dr. Brett Brimhall, please share with us why a busy and successful chiropractor would possibly want to join forces with a network marketing company. I know everybody is dying to hear what about these products and your story, right? What stood out to you? So Dr. Brett Brimhall, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Hey, thanks, Angie. I appreciate being a part of this, and I actually love listening to Garrett. Well, I don't have to do this smart science stuff. He did awesome at that. And what I love even more than that is, like, all I have to do to benefit from this is take it. Like, I don't always exercise 100% of the time, but I can be 100% on taking my products, right? And so whether it's working out or whether I was doing mental tasks, or like my kids going to school and trying to be academically, be able to retain, recall, and the information that they need, like, I can have them on point, right? And so when I was exposed to this, like, I wasn't looking for a company. Like, I was literally teaching with another company at the time. with my dad, who's created over 200 different supplements. So I understand what Gary's talking about. Like there are a lot of things out there and they're not all the same, not even close. Right. And I remember watching this young man I was working with who his life looked like having to do 35 hours of therapy a week because he struggled with learning. He struggled with behavior. He struggled with focus. Like he's way behind everybody else his age in every way you can imagine. And it wasn't from a lack of, exercise or activity. It was because his brain was not being able to take that information, gather it in and get it back out. So when he started on a product called Axio, what we call liquid brain food, it addressed brain fatigue. So all of the sudden, his brain was processing that information, recalling it, and able to actually have massive difference in his focus, right? So the whole process of recovery, right, can be at any age, right? And so I love the fact that in sports, we're always looking for any competitive edge, like any competitive edge we can get. And so what got me excited about this was I saw that. That's what opened my eyes that there was a difference in how things were made. So my background is not in the research, it's in clinical practice. So it's where the rubber meets the road to me, right? And so I've worked with everything from elite athletes to moms that just want to be able to focus to kids that are struggling. And so when I saw that in a little that young man, I'm like, okay, there's something vastly different. I found myself on an airplane to South Dakota to meet the scientist. Right. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the power of what this is. And what excites me to be a part of this network marketing company is I'm a referral based practice. The only people are going to come see me. And I talk to people today from like 5 different states, right? About practice, right? The only way they found me is somebody sent them to me. But with network marketing, and there are people on here from all across the globe, we can impact people's life because right now people are looking, athletes are looking to what's that competitive edge I can get? What's the edge that I can get to be able to perform at my max, right? Or that much better. How to recover faster? How do I focus better? And for me, I love playing basketball. There's a notable difference for me when I'm playing basketball and how will I shoot if I've done my activation with my brain. Because all body control starts with brain control. All body control starts with brain control. Okay, so if your brain's on point, your body's on point and vice versa. So for me, like I love the fact that I can drink this Axio, right? I take this, I mix it in water. If you're one of those people that like to, your quickly, quick workout drink, right? Where you want to just, they call it the pre-workout. Great. Put in a little bottle like that and drink it. All right. For somebody that likes to spread it out throughout the day, great. It's one of those, right? What's in it? All right. You got your B vitamins, you got your called DMAE, which got multiple studies based on just on focus and like brain recovery. It's got quercetin, which is known as a brain antioxidant. It's got magnesium, right? It's got green tea extract. But I don't want you to think so much about the nutrients. When I looked at the nutrients, when I saw the results that I saw, I'm like, well, like, it's not that, like, I'm like, these nutrients aren't so special. Right. So when you're making any recipe, the ingredients aren't that special, but how you put them together, and if they're baked at the right temperature and the right time, the results are exponential. So if you want to have that extra ed mentally, right, and know that it works and not guess, that's what Axio is to me, right? Absolutely brain focus, firing on all cylinders, getting more things done. Right? That's what it is. So whether that's a mom, right, that's trying to be the quarterback of the family, or whether that's like my son that's 13 and loves sports and being on point to play football or to basketball, that I can have something. Because what are the alternatives for these people out there? They're trying to use something for a pre-workout or a post-workout, right? Or just, trying to pick me up. I hate to even do this, but it's that, right? Or it's one of these. Who do you know that's drinking that stuff and getting what I call a chemical concussion, right? And guess what? This is not FDA approved for kids, right? So if that's their option because they don't know any better, like I love being part of network marketing. We need to get this message out for those people that are struggling massively. Right, I want to speak just a second to one other product called Omega Pure, because there's a lot of people, especially athletes and even others, that had major concussions. All right. So your brain, if when it's had injury, right, it's got to reroute and rewire. And one of the most important parts of that is the insulation, which is make of omega-3 fatty acids. So a good friend of mine that works with the lab company, she looked at over 200 labs, which can be thousands of labs a month. And I asked her what percentage of people have optimal level of omega-3 fatty acids. So here's just a summary. If you don't have normal or optimal levels of omega-3 fatty acids, your hormones are struggling. So anything that relates to hormone, right? Your brain's ability to communicate and reset is struggling, and your ability to recover and repair from the fire that's created from exercise or anything else will struggle. 1 of 200 people that she looks at is normal. And the only ones that are that way are on a high quality omega-3 fatty acid. So then the question becomes, which one do you get? So I don't know about you, but I don't like old sushi, right? So I'm not buying mine at a big box store with a bottle this big, right? So this bottle, I can trace it back to the boat where it's caught. So I know the waters were pure, right? And I have no problem with taking one of these out of the case here and popping it in my mouth and eating it, all right? Because it's fresh and I can eat it and it tastes good. Right. So if you're not on omega-3 fatty acid, be on one. If you're looking for something to build your focus and concentrate, Actio is that key. And I'm just excited to be a part of this company because like every single day, people are struggling mentally and are more mentally fatigued than ever. And we have a solution for that. And so I'm just excited to hear your experience, because what you'll see happen is people share their story, and there's a massive amount of people that have massive results. And we don't have to guess if this works. We have the studies that back it up, but clinically, super grateful to have this as part of my own family's health, but for the people that I get to work with every single day. So thanks for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Dr. Brett. Appreciate that. He ate a fish oil, you guys. I've actually done it too, and it doesn't taste bad. It's lemon lime flavored. So I appreciate that. And speaking of concussions and speaking of omega fish oil, our next special guest I wanted to bring on, he actually works for our corporate headquarters for LifeVantage. He is I call him the gentle giant. This dude is huge. He's 6'7", over 300 pounds. He used to play offensive line for BYU, also for the Oakland Raiders. He is such a sweetheart. He's been with LifeVantage for 5 years, and I invited him on really just to give us some perspective, not only as a former athlete. I'm sure he can speak to concussions and brain injuries as a football player. However, I did ask my son's doctor before I allowed our son to play football. I asked him about concussions, and he said, the #1 sport I see the most concussions in? I was shocked. You guys might be too, but it was cheerleading. He sees more concussions in cheerleading than in football. So that made me feel a little bit better. But Dustin Reichert, I've invited him on to give us some perspective, not only as a former professional athlete, but also as a representative of LifeVantage, just so you can get an idea of the caliber of our leadership, right, that our corporate team possesses. So Dustin, are you there?
I am. I'm right here. Thank you so much, Angie. And I follow up Garrett and Dr. Brimhall and their amazing information on these products and the science and the in-depth details. I don't have really much to say to add to everything that they've already said, but to echo it. This product takes the guesswork out of your training. It listens to your body. It adapts, and it helps you to grow. It teaches your body to grow and to recover the way it was meant to recover, and does it at a much higher level and a higher speed than I've ever felt with any other product I've taken. I wish that I had these products when I was playing a long time ago. I did have a couple injuries that held me back. Did have a couple concussions in college, but I can attest to what these products would have maybe done for my career, and maybe allowed my career to go a little bit longer. But they do help me today to train better. I definitely have my sons on it. That one's in dance. He's a competitive dance team, and the other one is a basketball and football player. He broke his leg in May, and I put him on both the products, and his recovery, the doctor was really shocked at how fast his leg recovered with pins and 8 screws in it. He was very, very impressed with his recovery time. So like I said, this company is amazing. I'm very grateful to work for this company and amazing products, but obviously the amazing people I get to work with. like Angie and all of you that are distributors that I get the opportunity to work with on a day-to-day basis. And it's amazing culture here at LifeVantage, and I'm very happy to be part of this company from the corporate side, and happy that you guys are out there killing it on the distributor side.
Thank you so much, Justin. I appreciate that. You're awesome. So you guys, we've heard from 3 amazing men, right? Now it's time to turn it over to get a few women on here. Let's get a woman's perspective on what we're talking about tonight. We're almost done. We have 4 testimonies, guys, 2-minute testimonies, we promise. These ladies are going to share with us how these products and this opportunity have made a difference in their lives. Our first one is my good friend Katerina. Our husbands actually grew up together. And she was one of the first people to trust me on this journey. I knew she was suffering health-wise, and so I took a chance and I reached out to her. She's now, that was 3 years ago. She's now one of the top leaders in my team. Her team is doing over $50,000 a month in sales. She lives in Chicago, and she's actually at a basketball game right now, her son's college basketball game. It just goes to show you, you can literally run this business wherever you are, right? So Katerina Reed, you're going to share with us a couple of minutes. Hi, Kat.
Hi, Ange. Hi, guys. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited that we're all here talking about this amazing company and these amazing products. And like Angie said, this is a COVID conference makeup game. So you know what? I told her I'm going to be in a gym. It just finished. I have 4 kids. Our oldest is 20. He is an NCAA basketball player. He's activated. My second son also plays basketball, and he will be at his college next year. And my 14-year-old and my 12-year-old, all activated athletes. I am an X Division I softball player. I spent all my time on the field growing up. And you know, as you get older, you get those aches and pains. Angie reached out to me because she knew I was having some health issues, and I trusted her. You guys, I was like, you know what? If this worked for you, it's going to work for me. I was the epitome of you know, waking up, not getting good sleep. I was, you know, my head always hurt. I couldn't remember things. I have a lot of different health issues that pertain to why I wasn't feeling good. And I've been a vegan for 7 years. I've been a vegetarian for 20 years. I was always feeding my body what I thought I needed. And when she goes, Kat, just try these products and I promise you're going to feel better. And sure enough, I mean, it was like within weeks, I became able to live again. You know, it's not okay to just feel bad. And then you kind of get in that rut of staying that way. And, you know, as an active mom of 4 and you know, I like to run. I couldn't do that anymore. But once my body got activated, I was back on the pavement. You know, I can go outside and shoot with my boys. My back doesn't hurt anymore. So I owe everything right now to Angie, because if I hadn't trusted her, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. You know, the organization has grown so much, and it's just been a blessing. Every single day that I get to share these products, I am so blessed that my family's activated, and we are, you know, we're a tribe. We're doing this together, and we're just trying to get all that information out to y'all.
Awesome. Thank you, Kat. I appreciate that. Our next guest is also a good friend of mine. We met when our boys played baseball together when they were about 7 or 8 years old. She's actually the wife of a former NFL running back. She's mom to 3 incredible athletes that she'll tell us about, one of whom is a running back himself, a star athlete at Fresno State right now, following in his dad's footsteps. And she works this business alongside her regular job, her real job as a code enforcement officer. So Mila Rivers, I'd love to have you share your story from the perspective of a mom, a busy mom.
Thank you, Angie. Hi, everyone. Like Angie said, I'm always known as either someone's wife or someone's mom. And yes, Ron played for the Detroit Lions and Atlanta Falcons for 7 years and a year. And I have 3 kids. My 25-year-old girl went to Fresno State and played Division I softball. My 22-year-old boy is a running back at Fresno State. And then I have a 16-year-old who plays high school football, runs track and plays basketball. So Ron and I started on the products a couple of years ago. And as I learned more about them, I learned how good they are for athletes, because athletes create more oxidative stress, apparently. And when I learned that, I figured, why not give my kids an edge? Why not do what I can do to make sure they can recover faster, they can feel better? And but obviously I had to do my research on it first. I learned that the products are BSCG certified. So they are certified by the Banned Substance Control Group. With that, my son won't lose his scholarship for school. And they're also NSF certified, which is basically a certification that tests the products and the facilities, or the ingredients and the facilities, to make sure that these products and facilities are on the up and up. So that's how I help with my kids' oxidative stress and recovery. My son, I have just a real quick side story. My son had a small ankle injury when he was playing football, and the trainers said that he probably wouldn't get back on the field for 6 to 8 weeks. And lo and behold, by doing what the trainers told him to do, and I believe by taking these products, he felt great. And although he did have a little bit of pain still, he was able to step on the field the very next game, which was the next week. So I know that, you know, it does help with the reduction of inflammation, and it helps with their recovery. And that's my quick story.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mila and Ron next to you. Ron, I love you. Our next guest, you guys, she's a cardiac care nurse, okay? So talk about somebody that knows science and knows medicine, right? This lady is such a value to everybody that knows her. She's a workout queen. She lives in the gym. She's a busy mom. And she's just, yeah, she is the bomb, somebody said. So Nurse Kathleen Neeson, we'd love for you to share your 2-minute testimony with us. Hi.
Hi, thanks for the great intro, and thanks everybody. Mila, I love your story. It's always really inspiring to hear, and thank you everybody for being on this call. I know it's been probably a long day for you, so I'm going to make this quick. Yes, my name's Kat Neeson. I'm a registered nurse for the last 13 years out here in the Bay Area. So my focus is on the heart. I love hearts. I love taking care of them. It is the #1 muscle in our body that we need to exercise the most. And so the Surgeon General says that we need to get 30 minutes of exercise a day to reduce our risk for heart disease. And, you know, as we age, things kind of slow down. We have more aches and issues, and, you know, we get more things on our plate. We have more stress, we have families, we have life, we have a lot of things going on. And sometimes we forget to put ourselves on, you know, back in the game, and instead we're putting ourselves on the back burner. And what happens is, all too often I'm hearing from my patients that they wish they would have done things sooner had they not been in the position that they're in. And so I'm here to say it's never too late to start feeling your best. And so I like to say that LifeVantage kind of found me. You know, I'm a pretty healthy person. I'm a mom of 2. I'm 37 years old, and I was an athlete. This is an athletic call. I was an athlete my entire life. The best way for me to cope as a kid was running. And so I got into running. It helped with my not only my physical health, but my mental health. And right now, a lot of our kids are needing that exercise and that physical movement. So it's so important to teach them young. So as an athlete in high school, I ran varsity cross country. I did that for a few years. Unfortunately, I broke my foot and kind of ended my career, but it didn't stop me. You know, I got back into running and exercising. I like going heavy at the gym. Like Angie said, I'm there 4 to 6 days a week, trying to reduce my risk for heart disease, trying to better my life, and trying to reduce that stress. And it really does make a difference. And so as I was getting older, my recovery was getting harder, and I couldn't go as heavy as I wanted to. I couldn't, you know, keep up, or I would be crashing in the afternoon because my energy was just low. There were moves that I couldn't do because my knees were wearing down, because I am a runner, or my hips were bothering me. So there was a lot of things starting to limit me. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is what 30s is going to be like. I don't even want to know what's going to happen when I'm 40. And I can see the kind of the ball rolling of where things were going to go. And so it was a friend who came to me mainly because of my mom. And that's how this story really started, was my mom was having a lot of chronic issues. And so what these things did for me is my friend said, you need to try this. And it was all these nutrients, plant-based. There's tons of research. You know, I'm a nurse and you can't really fool me. The fact that American Heart Association backs it, I'm a heart nurse. That's pretty huge. Harvard, Northwestern, these are places that some of the doctors that I work with are a part of or have gone to school. So the research was behind it. We gave it a go and things, you know, returned back to how they used to. I'm running at speeds of when I was almost 15 years old, maybe not as the fastest. I mean, to have a mile at 5 minutes and 32 seconds at the age of 15, and just recently timed myself, and now I'm at 6 minutes and 34 seconds at 34 years old, 37 years old. Sorry, I'm trying. But I mean, it's pretty crazy to be doing things like that. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to give you the most ultimate speed, but I'm going to tell you it's going to improve that mobility and make you feel a little bit better. I don't have that afternoon crash. I can do moves. I can do the most that I can with my kids and just keep up with life. So it's been a blessing. The fact that my mom has a better quality of life is really the ultimate goal. So as a nurse, my passion is to always give everybody the best quality of life, the education, and to have the best future. So really to take care of yourself. And if 2020 taught us anything, it's really about putting yourself and your health first. So don't wait. It's never too late. Sometimes it's just better to know before you just make your own decision up, but really talk to somebody that whoever called you, put you on this call, it's because they really care about you. So thank you for having me on here. I really appreciate it. And I wish everybody nothing but the best, and make sure you're exercising that big muscle in that chest right there.
Thank you so much, Kat. You could have said you were 24 and we all would have believed you because you look amazing. I ran an 11-minute mile. Is that good?
Hey, as long as you're out there and you're doing it, you get an A+.
Okay, good. I actually don't run, so that's a lie. All right, our last guest, guys, we are on time. Look at us. This is amazing. I wanted this call to be under 45 minutes, and we're going to hit that. Our last guest, our closer, this beautiful lady has been helping people reach their health and fitness goals for 28 years. You're not going to believe it when you see her. She actually owns 5 gyms in our area here in the Bay Area. She has a huge network of people who listen when she speaks. So wait until you hear her story. Not only does she have an incredible product story, but again, why would a successful businesswoman, right, and a busy mom, why would she say yes to this business? I know for a fact she has no free time, right? But she said yes to this business. It's my pleasure to introduce Latasha Garcia.
Hello. Thank you so much, Angie. And thank you for sharing all of your testimonials prior to this. I love listening to all of the successes. That's what I get to do for a living, and to have partnered with a wellness company that has so many amazing stories is just amazing in itself. So yeah, the product I was blessed with the product because that's truly what it was for me. After I had suffered some major health issues. I've been in the fitness industry for since I was 19 years old, and I am going to be 50 this year. And so, yeah, I've been in the industry for a long time, and I have been around wellness. I have stepped on stage and done competitions myself, as well as trained athletes to jump on stage. And so I know nutrition and fitness very well. And so when I was plagued with some of my own issues, I had huge headache pains, and I remember laying in bed at night and feeling like someone was grabbing the side of my brain, and it hurt tremendously. I was at a Christmas party and I dropped a champagne glass and my entire arm went numb, rushed to the hospital. And that was followed by so many other things. I had trouble walking, and I took my family to Disneyland about a year and a half ago, and I literally couldn't walk the park with my family. And crazy for me, right? I work out in the gym every day, and I eat moderately healthy, and to be going through some of these health issues was baffling to me. And I'm one of those people, because I own a gym and I have so many clients. I don't like to be the deliverer of darkness, so I kind of hid in my own shadows and suffered in silence, so to speak. And finally, when I was made aware that I was delivering a different version of myself, and people were going, gosh, something's going on with Tasha, her light is out. I decided, you know what, I need to share what's going on, because they're looking at me like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with her? Is she okay? And so I was blessed by Kristen Bailey and Jane Buchanan, who are distributors with LifeVantage. And they put me on a text, they bombarded me on a text thread. And they said, we love you. We care about you. Something is off. We want to give you this natural product because we want you to feel better. And at that time, I would have eaten dog food to feel better. Like, I was really, really, really struggling. And so I started taking the products, and over the course, that was in March of this past year. And by November, the light bulb went off. And I started to realize, oh my gosh, I just hiked 6 miles with my husband in Sedona, and I just hiked 7 miles with my girlfriend, and I bought a BMX bike at almost 50. And I had been traveling and walking all over, and I was sleeping at night where I had struggled prior to that. The brain pains were gone, and my skin was different. I mean, everything. And I felt like, similar to what Kat said, I felt like I was like in my 30s again. And I called a dear friend of mine, Tara Wilson, and I said, I have no idea what this little box is and what I'm taking. Can you please tell me what it's called? I honestly didn't even know the name of it. And I own a supplement company. But at this point in time, I was desperate. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I had people that I trusted give me something that I would have never, ever even known about if somebody hadn't explained it to me enough to just say, I love you. This is going to help you, take it. And so I took it. And as soon as I realized what it did for me, I felt, oh my gosh, I've got thousands and thousands and thousands of members that depend on me around wellness. And so I'm helping them with the exercise, I'm helping them with nutrition, and I'm realizing it's just not enough anymore. There's a missing link. An apple is not the same apple that our grandparents ate 40 years ago. The air is different. The what they spray our food with is different. Our cattle and our beef and our pigs and our cow, they're all raised differently. And so there is a missing link when it comes to fitness and nutrition right now. And so to have discovered something that I felt gave me that completion and married all of them was invaluable to me. And I wanted to make sure that I shared it with my community. I've got thousands and thousands of members that absolutely trust me. And if I have something in my hands that can merge all of those things to help their health and wellness, my gosh, how dare I hold it to myself? And so I became a distributor in December of this past year. It's been an amazing, I've been doing it long enough now where I get the text messages about how amazing my clients are feeling. And that in itself is such a gift for me. I mean, what it did for me is a side note, but the fact that I can bless other people that look for me, very similar to what Kat was saying and what Mila was saying, that look for me for improvement on themselves and making a better version of themselves for themselves was eye-opening for me. So I'm so honored to be here. I'm really, really excited to have discovered what I continuously call the missing link. I feel like it's a true marriage of fitness, wellness, nutrition, and I'm just excited to shout it to the world. And so I obnoxiously do so. It's not even a matter of who will and who won't. It's just I really believe everyone needs it, and everyone would benefit from life being on the product. So I share it and share it and share it and share it.
I love it. Thank you so much, Latasha. I just love your story. It's really inspiring. She had a really good point, guys. The missing link, right? We take supplements that our grandparents have never heard of because we live in a world that is completely different than the world that our grandparents grew up in, right? Not only from the food that we eat, the soil, the air that we breathe. So, our flagship product, Protandim NRF2, I think Garrett mentioned, it's sold on the shelves of GNC, Rite Aid, Whole Foods. LifeVantage is an 11-year-old company. There was an ABC primetime investigative report that aired that blew this company out of the water. If you have not seen that yet, be sure to get with whoever shared this information with you, and they will get that into your hands. On behalf of all the guest speakers tonight, we just want to thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions about any of the products or about this opportunity, because there is an incredible opportunity here, guys, be sure to follow up with whoever shared this with you. I'm going to stop the recording, but we are going to stay on for anybody that has questions. And we have a couple other testimonies too that people might want to hear. So feel free to hang out. And if you have to head off to be with your family and have dinner, then that's okay too. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.